Welcome to 500 Open Tabs. I'm Kaveh Taherian.
And I'm Hannah Hillam. Welcome back to the show, everybody. The show where we open our tabs on our browser, pick one, tell each other about it, and then have a closing ceremony to finally close those tabs.
Do you
add anything?
Do you have any more to pitch? That's
no,
it. That's all we say.
I just figured we'd say the show at the beginning, just in case somebody who's never listened to us starts listening. I'm not going to freak out. My husband was like, every time you start recording, you come in hot immediately. And so today I'm not going to come in hot.
Yeah, because you're normally so relaxed and calm.
I'm extremely,
otherwise when we're not recording. Yeah.
I am, do you see my face?
Zen.
So zen.
Oh, how you doing, Hannah? How's life? How are things?
You know, it's...
Any updates? Anything you want to tell us before we get into Colonel Sanders Part 2?
Oh, geez. Well, I was going to say, should we say this up front or save it to the end? I guess
that sounds like you're going to get in a fight with me. You're like, you want me to tell you this up front? Everything that you've said is a lie.
This guy's not real. None of us are real.
I'm AI, actually. Yeah, it's true.
Oh, you've been like campaigning against yourself. You're like suicidal AI.
Yeah.
Please kill AI.
This is what AI created? I mean, I do have 6 fingers and I'm like, weird looking and I like to eat pasta, but yes, continue.
That's not all of the 6 things you've got. AI is insane. Gross. So no, I don't know. That's nothing's new. How about you? Anything you want to update us on?
No, not really. I think the thing that you wanted to mention up top is that you're going to be taking a couple of weeks off, it sounds like.
Taking 2 weeks
because
off.
you're mad at me and you're mad at Alyssa and you're mad at our listeners and
I'm going on a silent retreat where I don't have to hear you talk.
A podcasting silent retreat. That would be great.
A Kaveh-free 2 weeks alone.
We're going to still release those episodes too. It'll just be 50 minutes of static.
Some birds chirping because I'm at a silent retreat. But no.
That would be kind of nice.
Sure. You know what? I think if I went on a silent retreat, I'd never come home, and in a bad way. I think I'd be like, I can't do this. I'm out of here. But we are moving. I'm comfortable saying that. We are going to be moving. And as you guys remember from last year, Kaveh took his 2 weeks off because moving is a miserable, horrible thing. So yeah, you won't see me for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Enjoy that time, everybody.
Yeah, enjoy
relax.
it. Enjoy the Hannah-free.
It's going to be like the 2 most popular episodes we've ever released.
Of course. That's my hope.
Yes.
That's my hope.
So we have a couple of fun things planned, a guest or two, a guest host or two, and then it'll be really fun to carry your workload the entire time while you're gone. So I'm looking forward to that.
Hey.
Anyway, look forward to Hannah Free June, I guess, is when this is mid-June or something.
Anyway, so I'll be gone for 2 weeks, and you guys can look forward to some fun things, like Kaveh said.
Anyway, in the meantime, I don't really have anything to update about, but here's what I didn't do today.
What?
I didn't eat lunch. I didn't eat anything before we recorded this tab.
Heavens.
You know why?
Why?
Because I want to hear about your finger licking good tab.
Are you going to go to KFC after this?
Absolutely not.
Ew, yeah. I don't know, because according to the Colonel, no one should eat it anymore. So we'll get to
Here's
that.
my hot take, and everyone will get mad at me. Fried chicken is fine. It's not like it's fine. It's like I don't. It's just
chicken.
It's chicken. I like it. I don't dislike fried chicken. I don't have a hot take on it. It's just like, it's fine. It's not, I don't like people. It's like the 2 things that people like obsess over, especially in LA, is like fried chicken. And then like pasta is another one where I'm like, pasta's fine. Yeah.
Pasta's a filler food. Sorry, Italians, but it's a filler food.
There's good pasta. It's just sort of like, it's fine. It's not the thing that I'm like, oh, like I need.
Same.
You know what I mean? We need to get into part 2 of Colonel Sanders and his finger licking good. Was that his biography? It was called Finger Looking Good?
It was called, hang on, it had this super crazy long name. It was called Life as I've Known It Has Been Finger Licking Good. That's the title of this autobiography.
Dear God, no one stopped him to say that's a bad idea.
Here's the thing. If they had, he refused to take any advice. It's Colonel Sanders. He's insane.
Jesus Christ. He sounds like a character from Kids. That's a movie you probably haven't seen.
I haven't, but I know the vibe of what you're saying. Kill me.
Yes.
So this week is Sanders the Colonel instead of Sanders the man. And it's Harland Sanders, not Bernie, unfortunately.
Are they related?
Probably not. I don't know, though. Anyone could be related to anybody, turns out. So
that's true.
We left off last week with Harland Sanders, newly minted as an honorary colonel by the governor of Kentucky, finally perfecting his now famous 11 herbs and spices for his fried chicken that he's been selling out of his gas station. And fresh off the heels of shooting a man in the side for painting over his billboard. So
he's literally Grandpa Simpson. He's like, I paid you to paint my chicken coop.
Dude, he is. So he doesn't mess around. He's a local character. And by his early 30s, his gas station chicken shop was raking in the big bucks. Like, everyone loved it. They were stopping off, filling up their tanks, eating his chicken at his table until he ended up, like I said last week, finally opening up a small little restaurant attached to his thing. And this finally gave the 40-year-old father of 3 something of a break. Finally, after having literally 200,000 jobs, that he got fired from half of them. So this isn't to say that the bad luck didn't keep happening. In the in his early 30s, his only son Harland Jr. died of an infection. No. Yeah,
that's awful.
A freak infection after getting his tonsils removed, which is even at the time.
Yeah,
that's not crazy. A dangerous surgery. Even at the time, it was like a pretty.
You said a freak infection, like sepsis or something.
Oh. I'm assuming because it killed him, but like. It was just like he was healing and then he wasn't, and it took him, and he was only like 20, and it really thrust him deep into a depression.
As it should have, yeah.
Yeah, his daughter said he was just like, wrecked and broken, which I can only guess, he didn't talk much about it, but I can only guess he worked through this by kind of pouring everything he had into this gas station chicken restaurant. I mean, who among us?
It's just when you keep calling it a gas station chicken restaurant.
Because it's what it is. I genuinely don't know what else to call it.
Gas station chicken has the best rates. Right now, it's only $5.30 to get a gallon.
They got to open up that straight so I can get cheaper gas chicken.
Yeah.
Whatever. But it took, and he was still doing the like pan-fried way of doing it because it was like the only way he knew how to make it, but it was kind of took a long time, but it was worth it because everyone's like, I'll kill for this chicken. And he began to realize pretty quickly that he didn't even need to sell gasoline anymore. Like, people were coming more often for the chicken.
That's what they call it in the business industry. You got to pivot into into a chicken instead of gas.
Yeah. Look, gas drenched chicken is not selling anymore.
Combine the two. Yeah.
Gas fried chicken sounds disgusting. And he took out the
marinated
pumps
in gas for 24 hours.
Delicious petrol
overnight gas
chicken.
Marinade. Yes.
You can really taste that zing in the back of your throat as it goes down.
Gasoline helps break down the tendons. It's like much easier to eat, and it's juicier, and it fluffs up. It's great.
I trust you.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen My Strange Addiction?
No.
There's that MTV.
I don't watch like weird junk reality TV. That's not a judgment. I'm just saying, like, I don't even know where to watch it. No.
Anyway,
I watch other crap. I'm just saying, like, but that's qualified as like junk reality stuff. Like,
I could mainline MTV's My Strange Addiction. So there was one where this girl, like, she was like, I don't know, in her 20s, and she drank gasoline every day.
How is that possible?
It's not. Like, she started realizing, like, she kept like touching her stomach, and it was like hard and bruised, and they're like, you cannot drink gasoline every day. Your liver is in shutdown. Anyway, she had to get like a liver transplant. She said she loved gasoline.
That person should not get a liver transplant if you've been drinking gas.
I don't think
sorry,
it was
like my grandmother is going to die because she didn't qualify for a liver transplant because gas drinking girl needed it.
I actually don't know if she got the transplant, but that's what they said, that she would need one. So,
I see. Okay.
But she could get it, it was an addiction. She said she couldn't stop. So I'm like, I don't know about that.
Okay, sure.
That show was nuts. Guy who ate light bulbs, sounds like whatever. So just like Michelin Man. So he didn't need to sell gas anymore. So he's like, whatever, I'm going all in on the restaurant thing. And he's even able to hire help, finally, like waiters and waitresses. And he hires this woman, chickens, just an army of chickens to help him make chicken.
Wait the table. Yeah, exactly. Like cannibals.
They fly the legs of their fallen comrades out to the table.
1 3-piece coming up. Is that all you want, honey? Should I bring the check?
Okay, darling.
Don't forget the tip.
tucks it into his feathers and takes it back, the tip. So he hired a bunch, like you said, a bunch of chickens to wait on everybody with their dead comrades. So he hired this woman named Claudia Price, who almost immediately becomes his mistress. So this is where I'm like, great.
Scandalous.
Sure, but like he's still with Josie. So she's still there, and she knows he has a mistress. And so it's one of those arrangements where it's like, I guess we're running a chicken shop, gas station, and my husband has a side piece. So I
mean, that's like common at this day and age, right? Like everyone's got a second family that they're going to run off with, right? At least he's still taking care.
It's just like, out of all the people, I don't think he can have or handle another family. Anyway, she was a divorcee, so it was kind of scandalous. But His daughter Margaret would go on to say that, quote, "It was evident from the beginning that her presence would create turmoil. Mother refused to accept that she alone could not satisfy father's physical needs, from which the very beginning of their marriage had seemed excessive to her. Neither promiscuous or a whoremonger, father nevertheless had a libido which required a healthy, willing partner, and he found one in young Claudia."
Do they have a sex off between the wife and the mistress? So like, who can bang him more times in a day? Or is he just like...
He just has
There's enough chicken to go around for everybody, baby.
There's enough kernel to go around for everyone.
Oh, who wants to eat from the bucket today?
10-piece meal deal.
Yeah.
So the fact that your daughter might know more about your insatiable need to get your rocks off with your mistress, probably, I don't know, that just feels really, that must mean it was very, very obvious. You know what I mean? Where it's like, this dude won't stop.
Banging.
Just needs to bang. As sure as chickens are fried, he needs to bang. So with all the extra help.
Chickens are fried, he needs to bang.
Shirt? Should we put on a shirt?
Yeah.
With all the extra.
I remember Aristotle saying that. It's true.
He did say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, he was so wise. He had become a local character. And people started coming to the restaurant to see him because he was like this crazy guy with his wife and his mistress selling chicken. Awesome. And for example, people would just come and to earn some extra money. He had a pet donkey that he had somehow acquired that he had kept out back. Remember, this is the Depression.
Are you telling me like nothing you're telling me is strange to me? It's like if I knew that there was a guy in town who had like a mistress and a wife that he bangs 24/7 while making fried chicken and sell gasoline with a donkey in the back.
You'd be there, right?
What am I doing? I would leave this podcast immediately. I'd be like, I got to go see what this is all about.
Yeah. I would go watch whatever's happening over there. I'd go eat the chicken and watch the dog. So he would make these jokes about like, hey, do you want to hear the opinions of a New Yorker? Or do you want to hear the opinions of like a Yankee? And follow me. And he'd take them out back and just have the donkey go, on the kick and stuff. And everyone would just laugh and laugh and laugh.
Because he's super south, like southern, being like, I hate the Yanks up north.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't even know if he was, but he just knew everyone else was.
Oh, he knew his audience. He's just like, they hate Yankees.
They hate Yankees. So that's the thing with the Colonel is that like, I still don't really know where he stood politically.
He's swinging the ways of the wind. He's like I got it.
He's a grifter. He is an idealist. Not an idealist. What's the word? Yeah, he's kind of a grifter. And an opportunist. He's an opportunist. So he will. Yes. And one thing I did know, his whole life, he never drank because his mom was like, it's evil. So he was a lifelong non-drinker, just like Hitler. Mm-hmm. I got a ding, 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 said Hitler. So with all the extra, so hold on. So he'd bring everybody back and they'd just be like, did you see Colonel Sanders, the jackass in his backyard? Oh, it was amazing. And so they all come and watch this donkey and eat this chicken. And he ended up opening like a motel part of this. I know.
This is, by the way, how we save the film industry, okay, right? This is called, they call these experiences is what they refer to them as, right? Like a pop-up. It's like you go see a movie. It's like you go get a piece of fried chicken, you hang out with a donkey, he tells some fun jokes that are like kind of political. It's a whole experience. Cussing. That's what you're paying for. Yeah, you're getting more than just fried chicken. You're getting an experience. I get
His
it.
hot young girlfriend comes and serves you 100%.
Yeah.
Dude, I would eat here every day.
There's hot goss. You're like, did you know that waitress? That's when he's banging. He's also banging the chicken that's over there too. It's like
and the donkey. This is my other mistress, the donkey. Yeah. He's dead, so I can say whatever I want, right? That's how it works.
Sure.
So he ended up opening like a motel part of it. So he's like, I can make more money by having people stay here and eating breakfast here too. And so he was just like innovating, and it was genius because people did need to stop over. And
he's like, how do I keep people trapped here as long as possible and never leave and only give me all of their money?
That's 100% what he was doing. And everyone loved him for it. Or they just loved his chicken. So another weird thing that he would do, and I tried to confirm this outside of his own account and a couple of others, but I struggled to find solid
proof
backing. So this could be definitely stretched, but I know that he did have a pet crow at one point. Okay. I don't know how much of this next part is fully true, but the story goes is that he bought this pet crow from one of his motel guests because it made him laugh because it would pickpocket everybody. And he's like, that's awesome. Hilarious. This crow is...
That's also hilarious. That's 100% correct. That is hysterical that it would pickpocket people.
He's like, I need this crow. This has to come to my restaurant. So
again,
the crow,
failing to see any problems here with what he's doing.
No, me neither. So this crow would perch on his shoulder while he made chicken, which first of all, gross. There's a problem. That's disgusting. And it would like go and fly around and steal money from people.
Okay.
But here's
no, I'm just saying. I was like, the first part was like a little bit like, okay. I'm like, we're getting to it, and I'm like, okay, now I get it.
You get him.
Now I get why you wanted to do the tab, because I was like, I was waiting for the insane part in the first part, but now I'm like, okay, he's got a crow that pickpockets people while he's frying chicken.
Yes.
Now I understand.
And a donkey that people pay to see. So.
Pickpocketing crow. I would love.
So he has this pickpocketing crow.
If anyone's selling pickpocket crows, I will buy one.
I want one.
Yeah,
and he
100%.
trained it to go to the. So people would come and be like, "I want the crow to pickpocket me. It's hilarious." And so they would put the penny. No, they would like put a penny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they want. It's the Depression. Literally anything is better than being at home.
That penny is worth like
nothing.
$10,000 in the Depression, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. But they'd take a penny and put it in their cuff of their their pants or their sleeve, and they'd walk around and wait to see how long the crow would realize like this guy has money. And the crow, by the way,
the mark.
Can't believe I didn't lead with this, but guess what the crow's name was?
Colonel
Jim
Crow. Jim. Oh, I don't like that.
No, that was the nickname everybody gave it. He apparently didn't name it that, but everybody called it that. So it gets real racist real fast. Yeah, it's a bummer.
I'm gonna go ahead and put like one mark against him on that one. But
there's plenty.
Listen, if I was a racist in the South, though, I'd probably think that was hilarious. That's a good pun. That's a good
30s,
racist pun. Yeah.
In the 30s, I bet that would be so funny. And if you're a full-on racist, which a lot of people were, so Jim would fly around and pickpocket all the patrons. I know, doesn't feel good, and he'd fly off with the penny, and no one ever knew where he'd put the pennies, and neither did Colonel Sanders. He was like, okay, I don't know what he does with these pennies. And there was one time when
saving up to move to the big city. I think he's trying to buy
a
bus ticket because he wants to go to Broadway.
New York,
I'll show you. I'm going to be in Talking Pictures or on Broadway. Because that's how the crow talked, I'm sure.
He talked like a New Yorker. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's transatlantic.
Just got to get enough money. Oh, duh. Yeah. I always associate that with New York anyway. Whatever. This crow is a transatlantic Hollywood actor, cursed to be in a crow's body, and it's trying to save enough money to pay the witch. I'm a lot more than just picking pockets. I'm going to be a star someday. You'll see my face in the big pictures. Yeah. So
I'm going to be in that movie Dumbo.
I don't like that movie.
Yeah, but that's clearly the thing that this racist crow would have been in.
Yeah, 100%. So one day, one of the motel guests came back to their room, and their room had been like destroyed, completely ruined. And he's like, what's going on? And Colonel Sanders like, it was the crow. And turns out the crow had absolutely wrecked this man's room, apparently trying to attack his own reflection in the mirror. So that's what Colonel Sanders said happened. He's like, he was sashaying about. I think he used the word sashay. He's like, he just was sashaying about trying to attack the other crow. Wrecked this room. And after that, everyone was like, I don't really like this crow
anymore.
Yeah.
Just don't show him his own reflection. Like, this is a tale as old as time.
And Colonel Sanders was like, I might have to get rid of the crow. He ruined this man's room. So
Not the racism, but the property destruction.
Not the
Still
racism.
True today. Yeah.
Nothing's changed. Oh,
we don't care that cops are killing people, but we don't appreciate the fact that you've burned down the Popeye's chicken in this area.
Don't break the windows of the chicken. Yes, which arguably there's a lot of beef betwing the two because people will die for either of them. No, beef. They eat cow there.
Beef Wellington, if you remember from our old episode.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Man, we've said a lot of things, dude.
We have.
Too many. Enough for AI to train on us and say whatever it wants. So
somehow it's the first failure of AI. They're like, oh, we tried to duplicate this podcast and somehow it made everything more expensive. They're like, it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to make things cheaper, but this
podcast is cursed.
It's losing money somehow, even though it's free software. We don't understand how that happened.
Somehow they're paying.
Yeah.
Join the Patreon. Where did I lost my spot?
The crow gets fired.
So the crow gets fired, just like Harlan did.
What a roller coaster with that crow. At first I was excited and it was cute, and then it was funny, and then it became racist, and then he's attacking his own reflection.
He's ruining things.
Ugh.
He never brings back the pennies.
He went to rehab. Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that crow. I hope he made it to Broadway, honestly.
Yeah.
it turns out later when he was restoring or redoing some of the parts of the house, he like took something out of the stair, like the under the stairs closet, and between the walls was like hundreds and hundreds of pennies. So the crow had been like lodging these pennies somehow in a crack in the wall, and they just filled up this wall. And he was like,
it's trying to keep it warm for the winter time so that it can't keep escaping
insulation.
From the heat. Yeah, the heat won't escape. It's perfect.
It's just wanted to be a good crow friend.
Smart. Yeah,
very
it's trying
smart.
to get a job as a construction worker, and the colonel didn't even notice. He just fired him instead. That was an audition. And he
blew your first audition, Crow. I don't even want to call him his name. It just sounds not good. So
let's call him James Crow. How about that?
James Crow. I like that way better. His Christian name, James.
Yeah.
So in 1939, the Depression's coming to a close, and he's been doing great despite Crow shenanigans and donkey shenanigans, and his restaurant burns down. Full on
arson?
I don't know. I don't think so. I didn't see anything that suggested arson, but
James Crow came back and he was just like, here's what I think of you firing me.
Honestly, James Crow burning down the restaurant of someone who looks like a plantation owner sounds pretty okay to me. But whatever. So the restaurant burned down. Again, he's like, come on. I can't catch a break. And he has to rebuild the whole thing.
We must rebuild.
He rebuilds like a huge restaurant with like 140 seats, and he's
bigger
like,
than
this is even
better than before.
Better.
It's an opportunity. Yeah,
and it got even more popular.
He wrote a LinkedIn post about it where it's just like, when my restaurant burned down, I didn't cry. I sat down and listened and took notes. I thought about this as an opportunity, not as a I listened. I learned. This wasn't a what does he say? It wasn't a setback. It wasn't a failure. It was an opportunity to come back bigger and stronger.
I grabbed it by the horns and I pulled myself up by the bootstrap. I don't know what they say. What do they say? Bootstrap. So
boots. Yeah.
He licked the. That's one thing he's never done. Well, actually, he does later. And he gets way more popular. Like, it burning down was kind of like like in the news.
Part of the lore.
Part of the lore.
From the ashes.
It's like about the racist crow. This guy's
it's
rebuilding.
a phoenix chicken that's rising from the ashes of its burned down restaurant that was filled with gas.
Oh, you're right. That's probably why it burned down.
Hey, if you guys haven't done so yet, go ahead and join our Discord. We have a channel that's just for drawings based on either fun stuff that you guys draw or insane stuff that we talk about in the episode. Challenge to everybody on the Discord.
Yeah.
Draw us a fried chicken phoenix. I'd like to see that. I want to see what your hottest take of a fried chicken phoenix is.
This is also a good time to stop for an ad break.
I was just about to say that. Here we go.
Beat you to it. And we're back. Okay, so despite the burning down, he rebuilds and makes it even better. And this is around 1940, and he's like really perfected his chicken spice or whatever. And he's also like, I gotta figure out a way to make this cook faster, because the pan frying takes like 25 to 30 minutes. And he gets a hold of a newfangled thing called a pressure cooker. And he names it Bertha. And he cuts it. He realizes it cuts down on grease, and it keeps it moist in only 8 minutes. So he's like, "Nice, I've done it." And he's able to just crank out this fried chicken like crazy. Just feeding anyone. Everybody wants this chicken. By the end of 1941, his restaurant was so popular that it was like always full, always going. Everybody worked, and then things were looking up for him and for the country because they left the Great Depression. Europe was in a war, but we weren't until, of course, December 7th, 1941, when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, and we were dragged into the Second World War. Or, according to some, we willingly wanted that to happen.
We went by letting it happen.
And we let it happen.
Inside job, some people say.
It's, read about it. And it's funny because I feel like in this podcast, this, like, December 7th, 1941, has come up so many times as, like, a pivotal moment in some subject's life that, like, I could list, like, State of Jefferson, Sushi Row, Man's in our baseball team. Like, all of this was just like, and I guess it was like a touch point for like the nation too, but
it's almost like it was a huge point in history. Yeah,
maybe. I don't think so. I think it's just a podcast. And same with Chicago.
It would have been funnier if it was like, it was like April 17th. Like, all of a sudden there's that for no reason. That's the date.
That's the day. Yeah. Wow. History is never stops giving. Ew. So never one to sit on the sidelines for anything, and also completely insane and a lunatic. Colonel Sanders was like, I want to fight. And Claudia was like...
He's like 45 now or something?
He's 52. Claudia was like, you're 52. You can't fight. And he's like, well, I got to do something. And so he goes to the nearest like army facility. Wait, what?
Yeah. He's like, I got to make chicken for our boys in blue.
That's literally what he goes and does. He goes to this nearby facility, and it's not an army facility. It's just another like kind of secret, sort of weird under wraps facility. And he's like, hey,
Project Manhattan. Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you say that.
Oh shit. He's making fried chicken for Oppenheimer?
Yes, he is. So
shit.
Yeah, you guessed it, dude. So he left Claudia in charge of the restaurant. And I'm assuming Josie, and I'm assuming the two of them ran it. I don't know how that worked.
Just that's a TV show if I've ever heard of one. Me and my mistress running the restaurant together.
Me and my husband's girlfriend.
Yeah. The Mistress and Me, I think, is probably
The Mistress and Me. And they just fight. Or they're best friends. Or they're in love. But I feel like they would have like a nice time not having to have sex every single day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're just like,
it's just like, take a nap. I can finally rest my vagina. I don't know. That's what I always say. I'm unhinged. So Sanders goes over to this new facility, and he becomes the head of the facility's cafeteria. Nice. And he works here till the end of the war, and he never really asks questions. He's like, well, there's just a bunch of scientists and engineers here. And unbeknownst to him, he was feeding scientists and engineers who were studying and processing uranium-235.
Whoa.
Some of the very same scientists who ended up going to work for on the Manhattan Project.
Wow.
And this facility was making the same uranium that they put into the little boy bomb, which we then dropped on Hiroshima. Thanks, Colonel Sanders. Which is insane. It's like this guy.
He fed nuclear war, quite literally, yeah.
He's like, oh, I want to do something for my country. And he fed the people who made the bomb.
Bombs.
And he did this the entire war. And when it ended, he comes back to his restaurant and his wife and his girlfriend. And by now, Josie is like, had enough. She's like, bro, I can't do this whole mistress thing anymore. I'm getting older. Yeah. I'm going to leave. And she keeps it just Josie. And they divorce in 1947. And the colonel is finally free to marry Claudia, which they do. They get married.
Wow. So she wasn't just a side piece. He was like, he wanted to keep her around.
I think some people have this theory that she had been his mistress for a long time, like even before he hired her. But I don't know if we can confirm that. I don't know. There's that crow that saw everything is no longer with us. So as his restaurant became even more of a staple of Kentucky and the surrounding areas, the new governor of Kentucky was also like, you're definitely a colonel. I'm reinstating and doubling down on your colonel title, which I don't understand, giving military titles, like honorary military titles to people. Is that like a thing?
It's probably like a Southern term of endearment or something. I don't know.
Interesting. So
like he's professor or something. It's like, oh, hey, professor. Like they say Ostad in Farsi is when you be like, oh, Ostad, how are you? Like a teacher. You just call them I don't.
Like they're by their title. I wonder why colonel.
Like I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of colonels in the South. I have no idea.
I don't know. And this
is
time
that a holdover from the Civil War or something where there's a lot of colonels?
Probably,
I have no idea.
Probably.
Maybe it's because of Colonel Sanders and KFC that I think of the South when I think of colonel. I don't really think of colonel as like a northern thing as much. But again, I've admittedly never really thought about it.
Me neither. Colonel. Why is it spelled that way? Doesn't matter.
Colonel.
Okay, so this time he's like, okay, I'm really going to take this colonel thing extremely seriously. I'm going to dress the part. I'm starting to wear like the little tie, the tie you see on his logo, and I'm going to start wearing all white because apparently that's what colonels wear. But this kind of harkens back to his time as an ash doodler, if you remember correctly, where he would shovel ash. He would shovel ash around.
I forgot about that word.
Wearing all white, yeah. Back in his ash doodler days. Now he's an honorary colonel, and he's wearing the same kind of white stuff.
That's Colonel Ash Doodler to you.
You need some ashes doodling? I'll be right there. And I'll birth a baby for you. If you remember, he's also a midwife.
Been doodled in a long time, has it? Let
the
colonel take care of that. Yeah, let me give you a full bucket. Let me fill that bucket. Sorry, continue.
With some ash and then doodle it. Incredible. So he was like, oh, yeah, I better take this seriously. And I'm also going to really lean into talking like I'm from the South. Because he wasn't from the South.
He was from the South, wasn't he?
He was born in Indiana.
Is Indiana the South? I don't know where the South is. Where does the South happen?
Midwest.
I don't know.
The South happens at some point. Missouri's like part of the South. Anyway, he didn't have a Southern accent like you'd think. And so he starts to kind of like put one on and becoming like, oh, a homegrown Kentucky boy. One of those things. What? Did you find anything?
It's part of the Midwest. Indiana's technically part of the Midwest, which
we're from
goes to
the
show
West
you
Coast,
how we're
and we don't know anything.
We are the dickhead coastal elites, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to pretend like I'm not.
It hits like Nebraska, and I'm like, I don't know what goes on past that.
Listen, any criticisms towards us is correct.
Yeah, correct.
I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to get defensive about it. I'd be like, sorry.
But guess what? None of them got to pan for gold in elementary school.
Yeah,
did you get to do that?
Unfortunately. No,
you
because
were
I
in
went to elementary school
Connecticut.
back east.
We got to pan for gold. Legitimately.
I was hanging with Jane Goodall, remember?
Oh, yeah. And all those Mayflower descendants.
Yeah.
Oh, Jane Goodall. Rest in peace. She would have hated Colonel Sanders. He starts wearing that Kentucky tie string, and he wanted to present that clean, homegrown, like, Kentucky boy attitude. But he couldn't stop just swearing. The profanities, like the things that would come out of his mouth were so crass that people were like, bro, I'm not buying your chicken, because he would just like cuss people out. He'd like insult their mothers, like talk about like shit and piss and all this stuff, just like an endless stream, and no one could turn it off. Neither could he.
Yeah.
Me
Love
too.
it.
Well, it's like, buddy, I get it. Back to his Ash Doodler days when everybody taught him how to swear. And whatever he would do. So instead he was like, I have to get rid of this swearing. I cannot stop swearing. What do I do? And so he does what everyone would do to try to stop doing something there. They can't, to stop swearing. He went to a church convention in Australia. A church con. And I couldn't figure out what this was, but apparently he was like an Aussie church con. Yeah. Like when I think of Australia, I think of learning not to swear. I don't know.
That's what I'm lining up in Hall H for learning not to swear.
Yeah, and getting guilted into not. It's funny, though, because remember, like, last week we started this story. I got onto this track because of that KFC robbery in Australia.
Yes,
and now
that's right.
Our boy is in Australia learning not to swear from a church convention.
I think that's just one of those, like, business expenses where he's like, I want to go to Australia. I'm going to write this off.
Yep.
I'm going to go do that. That's all these things are.
On his way to Australia, he headed up to Chicago, just like us, for another convention.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Just stop by Chicago on my way to Australia?
So at the time, flying to Australia, you could only do it from San Francisco.
Wait, what year is this again?
1939, 1940.
Are you flying to Australia at that time? You're not like taking a ship for 1,000 days?
He flew there. If you wanted to fly there, you'd have to go from San Francisco.
I guess I didn't realize that they were just doing commercial flights that early.
They
you said
kind of
39?
Like, this is in 1940.
49.
We're in the mid 40s, mid to late 40s. So yeah, they're doing commercial flights, but it hasn't like taken off. No pun intended. The 60s or whatever.
So I was like, that's when the big explosion happens, right? It's like late 50s or
the
60s.
60s when everyone's like, this is amazing. We can smoke up here. We can wear our suits. And we can hijack so easily. Did you know there was like, how many people were hijacked planes? It was like a thing, a common occurrence. She'd be like, I need money. I'm going to hold up a plane. I didn't realize how common it was. Anyway.
Yeah, when white people do it, it was cheeky and fun. And then when black people do it, all
D.B. Cooper, crime of the century. Yeah,
D.B.
exactly.
Cooper, it's so cool that he got away.
Oh, man. So he headed to Chicago. And unlike us, at this convention, this would be the place where he finally makes his fortune and meets the person who would guide him to success.
Speak for yourself. I do well in Chicago every time we go.
That's true. You do really well. Chicago loves you, dude.
Chicago does love me.
I am not. I don't know if I'm Chicago's taste specifically, but they like me. But they love you.
I'm more liked in Chicago than I am in Oakland, which was funny. Because I was like, Oakland, people were like, this is cool. But in Chicago, everyone's like, this is hilarious.
This is perfect.
Yeah. Shout out.
Chicago's the best. And this was a restaurateurs convention. So all these different restaurant owners get together to talk. And he was disgusted by how much alcohol everyone was consuming. It was like everyone was just drunk.
Conventions are for. Everyone's just getting drunk. Especially at that time, they're just getting shit-faced.
Find a new mistress and get shit-faced. Yeah. So
exactly.
He was really, really grossed out by that. And he's like, well, I don't like this. And then he finds
I'm going to the church convention.
Well, wait, there's one more stop before Australia church convention. The only other person who wasn't drinking was a guy named Pete Harmon, a restaurateur from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh, there we go.
The two hit it off. And the colonel promised to stop by his restaurant on the way to San Francisco. So I was not expecting...
Was it a dirty soda restaurant of some sort?
I knew you were going to say that. I even wrote that in. So this is
the only kind of restaurant I know about in Utah, yeah.
Yeah, this is where I didn't expect this to veer heavily into Utah, but it does. Okay. So he stops by Harmon's Dewdrop Inn in Salt Lake City. And of course, he makes Pete some of his famous fried chicken, and it just blows Pete's mind. He's like, "You're the best. This is the best, the most amazing fried chicken I've ever had, and you have to tell me how to make this." And Harland was like, "It's a secret. No one can know.
It's a secret recipe. Yeah, eat shit, bro."
And he's like, "But I'll sell it to you pre-mixed, and you can sell some of this chicken and see how it goes." And so he has these pre-mixed spices, and Pete buys them. and starts learning the technique. And Harlan's like, yeah, good luck. I'll be back. I'll stop by on my way back from Australia.
Yeah.
Goes to Australia, learns not to swear, doesn't work. And on his way back, he stops at Harmon's restaurant to check out how the fried chicken was
all
going.
I think of is the Australians calling everybody cunts all the way.
Exactly. Like when I think of Australians, I think of them saying literally every swear word.
If anything, I feel like that was the opposite. Maybe it was a swearing convention in terms of like, you need to learn how to swear better. Like he needs new swear words.
He came back not knowing how to swear better either.
He's like, oh, I can't.
Oh. Oh, I love Australians. It's so loving the way they say that.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm a true friend if you call me that.
What's the big problem with swearing, everybody? What's the problem? Who cares? It's just words. It's just swear words.
It's true. So he gets back from Australia. I don't know what he did over there.
The swearing convention, yeah.
He shows up to the Dewdrop Inn, and outside of it is this huge sign that says Kentucky Fried Chicken. Something new, something different. And Pete hadn't known what to call this chicken he was selling, and he hired this sign painter. He's like, what should you call it? And the sign painter, Rodney Anderson, was like, well, it's from Kentucky, right? And he's like, great. And so the sign painter came up with it, and Harlan Sanders he said, well, I'll be goddamn. And then he saw that Pete had reverse engineered the spice mix and the frying process. And he's like, by the way, this is really easy to figure out. And people would go on to call him Sneaky Pete Harmon. And he may have been a small town Mormon restaurateur, but he wasn't stupid. Here's what a lot of people, I was just going to put a little note that people don't realize about Utahns, is that because they, time and time again, they find ways to make something out of nothing, or make something out of something they stole. So like whether it's colonizing a land that wasn't theirs and building like an empire, or, you know, reverse engineering a chicken recipe. And Sanders was kind of like, okay, I could do a couple things here. I could get really angry at this guy, or I could yes and him. And he chose to be,
because usually he just gets in fights with everybody and beats the living shit out of them and swear. So it's interesting that he chose not to do it. So maybe ChurchCon swearing in Australia did work.
He came back at a good time, this non-drinking restaurateur who was smart enough to figure out his recipe. He ends up just being like, okay, I'm going to lean into this. We are going to franchise this. We're going to call it Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm going to be the face of it. And you're going to buy this as a franchise for you to open up a Kentucky Fried Chicken here in Salt Lake City.
Smart.
5 cents per chicken goes to Colonel Sanders. And that is how the very first Kentucky Fried Chicken opened in Salt Lake City, Utah.
All right.
Which I did not know. And Pete ended up going on to coin the phrase finger licking good. He kind of like made it look how it looks. And soon he was marketing the chicken buckets to exhausted Mormon mothers as an easy and filling meal for their large families. And it was a hit. Everyone was like, this is exotic.
Exotic?
No, he described it as like, for Utahns, it was like, whoa, this is something we've never had before, which is like, oh man, if you think fried chicken is exotic, then that's a problem. So Sanders was like, bro, this is the best idea. I don't have to do anything. I just have to sell this and I can make money. So he starts franchising.
That's the way to go. Yep. Yeah, that's the way to make money.
He goes to different chicken restaurants and sells this chicken. And 1955 rolls around, and his restaurant is kind of doing okay, but the nail in the coffin is when Eisenhower signs the National Interstate and Defense Highways Act, setting aside $25 billion to build over 40,000 miles of interstate highway. This is the largest, until then, public works project ever undertaken in America.
Anti-Eisenhower here. It's just like that movie Cars, where everyone's mad that there are freeways. Yeah.
The new interstate near his restaurant put him 7 miles out of the way. And his business, just like all those cars who, you know, probably voted for Trump in the end, in the movie Cars, his business completely dried up. And he had to sell his restaurant for a fraction of the cost of what it was worth years earlier. So at this point, he's 66, again has nothing except for a couple of franchises.
Why didn't he just buy another building closer to the freeway?
Here's the thing. He went all in on this franchise thing. He's like, I don't have to run this restaurant. I'm old. I'm in my 60s. I'm going to try this franchise thing. And it wasn't catching on as quickly as he hoped. So he was like, as his daughter said, he has a consuming drive to conquer all the adversaries that occur in his life. And so he did what he does best, goes all in, and he and Claudia live out of their car, their Oldsmobile, as 60-year-olds, driving around the country selling this chicken to chicken restaurants. He'd bring a pressure cooker, he'd bring a big thing full of like frozen chicken in a cooler. He'd bring fire extinguishers for some reason, probably to like, you know, in case. He'd bring oils.
That's the 12th secrets part of the sauce.
That foam, the foam.
Fire extinguishing foam.
Yeah, it's perfect. It has that really nice.
You gotta keep it binding. The problem
nice,
with fried chicken when you put like a breading on it is that it doesn't stick as much.
It doesn't stick.
So
you gotta get that weird stuff. And it was in
catch fire
Indiana.
when it's in the fryer as well. By the way, sorry, continue.
In Indiana, his hometown, his home state, where he met the head cook of a place called the Hobby House, a chicken restaurant that decided to franchise KFC early on. The head cook would go on to apprentice under Sanders, who taught him his ways and guided him into the business of franchising. He ended up managing several KFC franchises in Indiana and even invented that giant rotating white and red chicken bucket that you see outside of the old KFCs.
Yeah.
This guy's name, Dave Thomas, who would then go on.
Oh, shit. Dave Thomas from Wendy's?
Yep.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
On to open his own chain restaurant named after his daughter, Wendy. They were buddies.
I remember Dave Thomas. They don't remember. The young kids today don't know who Dave Thomas was. He was in all the ads. He looks like a computer programmer from the 80s.
He did. There's a picture. I wish I had it, but him wearing a Colonel Sanders outfit.
Very clearly. He had like a inviting face. He seemed like a non-offensive person, at least in the ads.
He was a good guy, I think. As far as I got a picture to send you of him wearing a Colonel Sanders outfit with Colonel Sanders.
Whoa.
Which is, people would like suck up to Colonel Sanders by dressing like him. But this is Dave Thomas and the Colonel.
Whoa. He looks a little bit more nefarious in his youth.
He does. He does.
He looks a little less trustworthy there.
Here's the thing. They're all capitalists at the end of the day. And
you know what? I take it back. Now that I'm looking at Dave Thomas and what I've learned as I've gotten older, I'm like, I don't trust this guy.
Oh, no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't trust any of these people. Colonel Sanders, like, here's the thing. Colonel Sanders was like an opportunist, but that didn't stop him from like mixing with people who have gone on to be very harmful, like Billy Graham and J. Edgar Hoover. Colonel Sanders,
J. Edgar Hoover loved KFC.
Well, Colonel Sanders loved J. Edgar Hoover, and they would have lunch and dinner together. And there's even like an FBI file on Colonel Sanders saying Colonel Sanders has never been investigated by the FBI. And it's like
the homie.
That sounds like he was investigated.
No, it sounds like he's under the protection of J. Edgar Hoover.
Yep, J. Edgar Hoover loved him. So he kind of mixed with these like people. I don't know. Here's the thing about Colonel Sanders. I don't respect him. I just think he's a very interesting. I don't.
All of Colonel Sanders' defenders, sound off in the comments and let us know why you do respect him.
Defend this man dressed as a plantation owner. It's fine. Making money off of the wife and girlfriend he put to work for him. I have a lot of opinions, but we'll get to that at the end. So now the old colonel was still there under all those nice clothes. And he would rear his head in weird, crazy ways. Like, for example, he stopped at a restaurant while out selling their chicken and ordered breakfast, and the eggs came back too runny. And he was like, I didn't want these runny. Can you take these back to the cook and tell him to cook them longer? And the waitress was like, sure, of course. And like 2 minutes later, she comes back and she's like, here. And he's like, no way did he cook those. That was too quick. And he flipped them over, and sure enough, the cook had just flopped them over just to show the cooked side. And so he goes back like an absolute lunatic and marches to the kitchen and says, you son of a bitch, you think you're smart turning those eggs over on my plate? To which the cook said, don't call me a son of a bitch, get out of my kitchen. To which Sanders responded by throwing the eggs at the cook. This pissed the cook off, who came at him with a kitchen knife. Started coming at him with a knife. And Colonel Sanders grabs a stool and starts fighting him off with the stool and backs out. And Claudia's like, we should go. And he's apologizes to everybody and leaves. So
here's the thing. That's some bullshit, though. Frankly, you're flipping those eggs over. You're not recooking them.
It was lazy.
I don't know about I'm like, at least be like, yeah, sorry about that. I'll cook it now.
Yeah. Don't and then stop there.
Don't escalate. Yeah.
Don't throw the egg at him. Like, bro, this is what's gotten you in trouble your entire life. You shoot first, no matter what. Like, you have to calm down. Like, it's just like eggs, fighting, gun. Everything is just him being like, fine, I'm getting angry. And at this point, it's not cute. It was never really cute, but it's like, come on, man. I've worked food services, and like people like that would just piss me off. Like, we'd have people come and just scream at us for getting something wrong. I'm like, bro, it's a salad. It's a salad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is what you're upset about, and I'm like 17 and making this, and you're yelling at me. Anyway, people are awful to food service workers.
Yeah.
And okay, so as his franchising efforts expanded and he started going place to place and selling all of these, he started getting national attention because he's like this insane guy showing up and
fighting people around the world,
fighting people in restaurants and screaming about his chicken with his like wife who's just like there for the ride. And he starts like appearing on news and getting interviews, and everyone loves him. They're like, who is this man? And his outfit and goatee were like instantly recognizable.
Iconic.
And
yeah.
he became the face of KFC, which he was like, makes no sense, because he thought he was ugly. He's like, I'm so ugly. Like, why am I on all these things? And by 1962, there were hundreds of KFC franchises, and Sanders was once again comfortable, able to buy a big house, making a bunch of money a year. In 1963, a young lawyer named John Y. Brown Jr. and investor Jack Massey offered to buy KFC from him. They were franchisees, and they were like, look, you're old. You're in your 70s. You should rest now. Let us take this. We're going to buy it. And he was like, absolutely not. I'm never retiring. And they're like, come on. It took them months. They finally wore him down with that. And he didn't even beat them up. And they talked him into buying it, talked him into selling it for $2 million, which does not sound like very much.
No, at that time, it's probably only even
probably
like
more.
$4 or $5 million or something.
Yeah, but not enough, I guess. Actually,
I mean, it's not that big of a franchise at that point, right?
No, it's not. But it's doing well enough that it's like,
this
they
is what
saw
year
where
you
this
said?
was going. 1974.
$2 million in 1974.
1964. I'm sorry, my bad.
$2 million in 1964 is like, lunch costs you what, like 30 cents?
Right? You buy like a soda for a penny.
Yeah.
And so he sells
and you're
it.
already like 75 years old. So what do you have, 15 years left maybe?
Oh, not Colonel Sanders.
Uh-oh.
Oh, actually, yeah, he's got about that much left. So he sold for $2 million, and he held the rights to the Canadian KFCs for some reason. And he became the brand ambassador and quality controller, which meant he would go show up at different restaurants and check randomly. So like you could be working
territories,
at KFC.
Dude, that's actually how you make a lot of money, is like by selling films to different territories. And be like, this is the Chinese market, this is the European market, this is the African market, this is the South American market, etc., so on and so forth.
This is the Canadian chicken market.
Theatrical. Yeah, the Canadian chicken market's a whole different thing.
Oh man, wonder how that went. Anyway, immediately. So they had promised, they're like, if we buy this, we're going to keep the same. And by the way, all of these, always, don't trust a company. All these companies that all these restaurants he'd been franchising with had, he had all the deals were done with handshake only. So there was no written contracts because it was, Southern promise or whatever. Those trustworthy
gentleman's
Southerners.
Agreement.
The gentleman's agreement. Yeah. And so this bites him, at this point, because he has nothing. He has some stocks. He has the Canadian KFCs, but they immediately changed the recipe. And they start using like powdered gravy that they mix water with. And he was so annoyed at the changes.
Immediately, yeah.
Yeah. He kept working for them because he was under contract to be like the brand ambassador. But promises meant something to him, unless it was marriage, of course. And when they moved the headquarters from Kentucky to Tennessee, he said, "This ain't no goddamn Tennessee fried chicken, no matter what some slick, silk-suited son of a bitch says." So that's when he's like, really? Tennessee fried chicken? And they went global in the 70s with Japan.
You can't take the Kentucky out of Kentucky Fried Chicken, my friends.
But you can certainly, I don't know. I had nothing for that. They went global in the 70s with Japan being a main focus of advertising. And they launched Kentucky for Christmas in Japan. And it still exists. And they kind of treat Sanders as like this silly American Santa Claus figure. And
somebody threw him in the river. Remember that one time?
I was going to say, this is where that tab that was written in about the baseball team throwing the statue of Colonel Sanders into the river. And then they never won again. So it was like from excitement. And then they're like, the Colonel Sanders curse, it's keeping us from winning. And then they pulled it out of the harbor and they won again. So that's like a fun thing in Japan. They still reference that. Like, you don't want the Colonel Sanders curse. So in the 70s, KFC was then acquired by Hublin, the same distributor of Smirnoff vodka. And this is where it got him off. This is the last straw. He was like, alcohol? And they started making the gravy out of powder. And he's just like, you drunks. You drunks.
They started making the gravy out of vodka.
Dude, I'd eat that.
Potatoes. You could have potato vodka gravy.
He, at this point, ew. I wonder if that'd be good.
Be potato on potato action.
He publicly started like shaming at KFC. Like he was like, it's goddamn slop, it's sludge, and wallpaper paste, the gravy.
Yeah, what is it, AI? Yeah.
And it's not
like
fit
AI
for
chicken.
he's like AI chicken. And it's not fit for my dogs. And so he'd go on these interviews and be like, this place sucks. And everyone's like, oh, buddy. And he started getting like letters of complaint from like kids being like, what happened to your delicious chicken? And he was like, I would rather die than
welcome
represent.
to the real world. Let me tell you about corporations and the market.
Like, buddy, you're getting ripped up. You made deals without writing them on paper. And in response to the new chicken version they came out with, he said, it's a damn fried dough. It's a damn fried dough ball all stuck on some chicken. And he had sold all of his stocks, of course, didn't have anything. And he was like, I got to find out how much of my body and soul they own, because they were still using his face for everything. Yeah. And he pissed him off. So he opens a new restaurant selling the old KFC called the Colonel's Lady. And KFC sues him. KFC sues Colonel Sanders. And they have to change the name to Claudia's Dinner House. Then he sued them for using his image on something he didn't invent. They settled out of court. Then they sued him again because he wouldn't stop talking about how disgusting and shameful their food had become. Again, settled out of court. So at the end, he got a bunch of money from them, and there was a bunch of suing and wars and
back and forth.
Yeah. And at one point, he campaigned to end the mandatory retirement age because he was like, I will never stop working. There's no reason to be the richest man in a cemetery, which I thought was a good quote.
Worked out for you, Colonel Sanders, because none of us are ever going to retire.
Thanks, man. As he aged, he became interested in religion again. For real, I guess. I don't know. And he decided to pray to God to cure him of his swearing once and for all. And apparently it worked. Because whenever he'd swear, he'd stop and say a silent prayer of forgiveness, which sounds super, healthy, not OCD at all. But he didn't have much time to actually test this theory that he prayed his swearing away, because soon after, on December 16th, 1980, Harlan Sanders died at the age of 90 of pneumonia, a complication of having acute leukemia. The governor of Kentucky, who was also the man who convinced him to sell John Y. Brown Jr., gave his eulogy. And after that, I ended with Colonel Sanders because this was all about him. KFC, as we know, went on to become the second biggest fast food chain in the world.
Is it the second biggest?
Second biggest, next to McDonald's, yeah. It is known the world over, and it was all started by this lunatic who had a gas station chicken shop and a pet crow that stole money. And that's Colonel Sanders, man. That's the trip that he took me on, and I had to take you on too.
Yeah, thank you. And afterwards, they took his body, and instead of lowering it into a casket, they lowered it into a deep fryer.
Yes.
And mixed him with the 11 spices that made everything so finger looking good. And at his wake,
it's good.
Everyone came. Eating part after the wake.
Oh,
not the reception. I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, the
funeral reception where you get to eat the food and shit.
I can't remember the name.
Is that the wake? So that's not the wake.
That's depends.
I forget.
No, the wake is when you follow the coffin to the cemetery.
What's the party? The funeral party where you eat food.
Receiving line? I don't know. Dude.
Anyway, that's where they all ate.
I don't remember. Anyway, I'm free from Colonel Sanders. Thank goodness. Get him out of my head. He was funny, and then I got real sick of him. But hey, there he is, an American icon.
He is. Incredible two-parter.
I do wanted to say, I came away, like I said earlier, with not much respect for him, because I think he's, he can complain all he wants about, like, oh, they screwed me over. But, like, bro also was ruthless and made his family work to the bone for this. So, I
mean, all things considering the people that we have today, having your family work with a mistress is like, on the humiliation scale of like, what, where capitalism has taken us. Again, I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying it's a good thing.
He didn't go to Epstein Island. We'll say that.
He didn't go to Epstein Island. His employees aren't pissing in bottles. People aren't like, collapsing and dying while they're like being forced to work for 10 billion hours in a row.
Unless he's the one to shoot them. But yes, you're correct.
Yes. I think, anyway. I think in, the comparatively. Also he got mad at the corporation for changing the recipe and making it
he did
worse.
Call them
it's like
out.
It's a man of integrity when it comes to his product instead of just the slop, right? He's just calling it slop.
I think I'm taking out my boredom, not my boredom. I think I'm taking out my frustration with this man's insane life on him.
Yeah. Yes. No, I'm not saying he's great. I'm just saying, comparatively, it would be interesting to see any CEO of a company at this point being like, things taste like shit and you guys have ruined it for the bottom line and you shouldn't do that because the quality is terrible.
I mean, he was a lot of things, and one of them was true to himself in every way.
The man believed in his chicken, yeah.
He did, and he believed in what he had to give.
His chicken.
They choked it.
Recipe. Yes. Sorry, continue.
No, that's it. How are we going to close this tab? I mean, I know how last week we
got to deep fry
right?
them. Yeah.
We did that last week.
Was that what we did last week? I forget.
Yeah. How about Alyssa, how about just chopping, like chopping a head off a chicken, right? That's how they do it.
Sure. Whatever you want to do. Or swear. I think, how about just a bunch of beeping, like swear words as it's getting killed?
Yeah, as you kill a chicken.
Like,
man, we're just making this.
Beep, beep, like Buster Bluth. You're like, you old horny slut!
Such a good part. Anyway, count me down.
3, 2, 1.
Bam.
Son of a.
Nice.
With the sound effects. Moving on to listener emails. You're just overdoing. You're overshadowing.
I don't
Alyssa's
even
beautiful
notice
work.
it. I don't even notice I do it. Alyssa, cut that out.
Add that to the pile of things you don't notice. Listener emails, everybody.
Okay.
Today's email is from Wendy from British Columbia.
Dave Thomas is Wendy?
Oh, Dave. from the Wendy's. Wendy from British Columbia, which I didn't think about British Columbia as being British. It's like Columbia, but the British version. But it's in Canada. It's neither British nor is it Colombian.
Used to be owned by England.
Yeah. But what about the Columbia part? Did it used to be owned by Colombians?
That's what they used to call. That's what they used to call all of this area. They named it after Columbus. North America was called Columbus. Yeah.
It's very confusing. British Columbia just makes me think there's like an English pocket inside of the country of Columbia.
Yeah. District of Columbia, all of it.
There. Yeah. Anyway, Wendy's from there, and Wendy's written a note. Hi, Alyssa, Hannah, and Kaveh. Did you know that Canada got its icon coin because a government official was too cheap to pay for an armored car service? By the way, armored with OU.
Well, yes.
In 1986, the Royal Canadian Mint was about to launch a new dollar coin to replace the paper dollar. The design was going to be the traditional French-Canadian voyager, an indigenous person paddling a canoe that had adorned Canadian silver dollars since 1935. To print coins, you need a master die. This is the tool that you use to stamp every coin. The Mint had the master dies at their headquarters in Ottawa, Ontario, but production happened in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So instead of sending the dies via a high-security armored service such as Brinks, they decided to send the dies through a regular courier firm, saving a grand total of $43.50. It turns out this was not the first time that this had happened. A government investigation found that this was the third time in 5 years that the Mint had lost master dies.
Oh.
Anyway, they disappeared. The courier company, the RCMP, everyone is looking for them. Nothing. They are gone. Unfortunately, they couldn't just make another set. Whoever had the missing dies could possibly stamp their own counterfeit coins, which would look completely real.
Wow.
Instead, a whole new coin had to be designed. They went through the old files, found a loon print by wildlife artist Robert Ralph Carmichael submitted in 1977 for a contest unrelated to the coins. The Loonie, as it came to be called, entered into production in 1987, and more than 800 million have been made since. By the way, to this day, the original master dies have never been found. Canada also has a $2 coin. We call it the toonie, of course.
Oh.
I can't think of a suitably absurd sign-off, so I'll just say thanks for all the laughs, Wendy.
A loon is a bird, right? Like a Canadian loon. Yeah. So I love that. They called it a loony and then just adopted toonie because it makes sense. That's the kind of linguistic,
that's actually a good story too. That's funny,
like etymology that I love. Like that's literally how it works. That how we change and find words.
That was great. If you also have a tab that you'd like to submit, please go ahead and send it to 500opentabs@gmail.com. That's 500. Share a fun thing that you learned with us.
Yeah.
If you have a friend, if you love Kentucky Fried Chicken, if you have a friend that loves Kentucky Fried Chicken, if you hate Kentucky Fried Chicken, if you like getting in fights.
If you love beating people up over small slights, send it to a friend. And if you know anyone with a story of something like working there or something, send it in.
Yes. If you have a crow that is racist and steals stuff, share this episode.
If you have a racist crow, send it to the racist crow. He'll be happy to be represented.
The racist crow. Yeah, it's true. You can follow us on Instagram or 500 Open Tabs, where we post updates, reels, stuff like that. We're also on Blue Sky, but it's technically there. So if you want to add us there, I'll log in every 6 months to remember what that account was. I am at PermaFriends on Instagram. I am also active on Blue Sky, actually, though. Kaveh Taherian.
You are. And I'm Hannah Hillam on most things. And we also have a YouTube, a Patreon, and a Discord. So those links are all in the bio, or not the bio. Those links are all in the show notes. Yes. And if you want to support us, head over to the Patreon. It's fun.
Yeah, do it.
You get an episode a whole week early.
And a bunch of extras. This one will have a long
This had a lot.
We had a whole side discussion about cooking.
Nothing to do with Colonel Sanders.
No.
Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll see you next time. I'll see you in 2 weeks, actually. So
Hannah's going to be off for a couple of weeks. Don't forget, she's going to be on the road while I fill in. While we have other people fill in. It's going to be a good time. In the meantime, everybody, keep the people of Iran in your hearts. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you on the other side, Hannah.
Yeah, dude. See ya.
Good luck with your move.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.